Okay, so this video is about, it says 36, habits. Remember we did habits. The left hand either does nothing or your non-dominant hand or does the exact same thing. So you could actually do this, right? But because it's just easier to do, I've always done habit. Habit is something that just kind of stays. Also tradition, the same thing is habit. So, but I don't know if I'll go through all 36, so we'll see how fast we can go through these. That it says 36 habits that are slowly killing you. So, K hand shape. To this is to kill, to murder, to slay. The teenagers say, to slay was I'm killing it, right? So to slay would be the same sign, I would think. But I haven't seen a deaf teenager, use that sign. So, or a different sign for, I slayed it. But anyway, that would be the same thing, the concept. Okay. So the first one is if you are sleeping too much or not enough. So enough. So not enough. So enough and not enough. Okay. The second one is using too much medication. So it keeps kind of darkening. So, and then skipping exercise. This is to skip or to be absent. You're just kind of hitting that. And it's the same hand shape. So your dominant hand is hitting this one. So skipping or absent. So if you're skipping exercise. If you are, it says excessive food. So it'd be food too much, excessive food, too much food. And then number 5 is really not having any social activities. I think as I'm getting older, I've kind of slowed down with that, but it says it's lack of. So is a lack, is it not enough, or is it none, right? So you could say none. Social activities, none. You could do it that way. Or you could say social activities not have. Either those, any of that way of getting that concept of none or lack of, which would be none, because it didn't say not enough, it just said lack, and lack means usually nothing, like a lack of exercise means, nothing. Okay, number 6, it's too much mobile time. So what is that? That's on the phone or on your computer, your laptop, your tablet, any of that. Let's see, staying in an unhealthy relationship. So that is number 7. Oh, it keeps darkening. Number 7 is staying in a bad relationship. You could say a non-healthy relationship. So you could do it either one. So you could say non-healthy relationship or a bad relationship. So I don't know if there's or if you want to distinguish it. So I know a lot of this is from psychologists, and so when we break it down, what's unhealthy is it's a bad relationship. That's why I do that. Okay, so number 8 is sunlight, skipping it. So not going outside whenever it's sunny and being outside. You're always inside or, in the shade. That shadow, but in the shade. Okay. And then number 9, negative thinking. You could do thinking this way. I do this like when I'm pondering. I'm really pondering or thinking about something. But this is to think, or I think that's true, or I'm thinking, and I like this is kind of a pondering. So thinking negative, you could do that. That's all negative or pessimistic. Anything that's thinking that's negative is a pessimistic line of thinking. But if it's always like negative thoughts, my thinking is negative, you can do it 2 hands as well. Okay, here's one. Number 10 is eating too much sugar or salt, and I have kind of lowered that because of high blood pressure. But anyway, so eating too much sugar or salt. And I spell or you could say sugar and salt, right? So if you move it, it's both, right? So you could say eating too much sugar and salt. So that could either be or and. It doesn't matter because you're including both. And or and doesn't matter because you could say, well, it's not necessarily like it's going together or it's connected. It's like, oh, if you eat a lot of sugar, but also if you're eating a lot of salt, and I don't eat as much salt. I probably could cut down on that because of the blood pressure. I kind of was eating more of it because my blood pressure was just really leveled out. So these are some health tips too. Okay, and working too much. I don't have that problem. Number 12, personal boundaries. And it says neglecting it. So you could say ignore or not paying attention or not holding on or not being strict. So there's so many, words that you could use, that there's signs that are connected with that mean the same thing. So personal boundaries, I need to keep, or it needs to stay, or I need to be strict, or, I need to hold those personal boundaries I have. I need to hold to that and not, cross it or whatever. So there's many ways to say that. Okay. Number 13, sitting for a long time, for many hours, just sitting and sitting and sitting. And I think people that work in an office have that problem. Or if they're not working, sometimes if they're just sitting on the couch, that's a problem. But if you're sick or you have some other problem like standing or, with your legs or your hips or your feet, that can be a problem. Anyway. But that's just kind of a reminder we need to stand up and kind of move around a little bit more. Next, number 14, bad body posture, like bending over, doing too much, doing your head down, it needs to be more of a straight line. And that's harder too. Okay, so let's see, number 15, spending before you really get the money. I think many people have a tendency to do that. Drinking too much. I could have said drinking too much. This is just, I don't even have to say too much. I'm drinking, right? Drinking too much. That's alcohol. Number 17 is just living in an automatic, just without thinking, without planning. Okay, let's see. Number 18, always an aggressive behavior, or you could say aggressive behavior, or always mad, or always, yelling at people, bawling them out. You could do that in so many different ways. It depends on really what your focus is. Number 19, not enough water that you're drinking. You could say, water drink, not enough. That you're not going to drink enough water, or you need more water. You need to drink more, or water drink. You could say it in different ways. You could say you need to water drink more, need to drink water more. I mean, there's different ways to say that because it's hydration, and doctors usually want you more water as opposed to, because people think, oh, well, I have tea or Coke, it's got water in it. Well, or coffee, it's got water in it, but they really want more water. Okay, and then number 20 is nervous habits, and that could be like twirling your hair, or if you're a female, and men might be like if their beard or their mustache kind of always picking at it or something like that, or your clothes, you're picking at it, or whatever your nervous habit is. So, kind of watch yourself, kind of do that self-inventory. Then number 21 is a constant comparison with other people. And so Number 22, we've already kind of talked about this, like right before bed, that you're on your phone too much because your eyes are kind of stimulated and it's hard for it to kind of shut down. Number 23, not relaxing. I'm trying to hurry. Fast food. Sorry, I said eating too much, and usually when you do that, it's fast food. Number 25, you're holding on to those grudges, where you've got this pot and it's boiling. Grudges, yeah. And number 26, bad financial management. You're not budgeting. Number 27, procrastination. We've done that F hand shape, and this one kind of, it go here and here. You're putting off and putting off, procrastinating. Number 28, you're not asking for support whenever you need help. Number 29, skipping medical appointments. That is a good one because you may have an illness and don't know, and if you're not going to the doctor because you're saying, well, I don't feel bad and I don't have the money, and that's a big thing about many people. They don't have the money just to go to the doctor to get a checkup, right? So anyway, but that is important, especially for cancer. Number 30, negative self-talk. I am so stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not worth anything. That's negative self-talk. Let's see. Number 31, mental health needs, ignoring it. So that is bad. And then let's see. Number 32, saying yes, yes, yes to everything. And so now, your calendar is full and you get kind of overwhelmed. So you're saying, I will do this, and you don't have the time. Overcommitment. So see how I was able to show you the concept before I gave you the word? Okay, number 33, here's a bad one, is to involve yourself with gossip. You could just say gossip. It's like, one of the things that really slowly kills you is involving in gossip. Or you could just say gossip, but anyway. Number 34, it says continued lateness. If you are always late everywhere, or if you're not organized, that is not good. So it's chronic, so it's continued, or it's all the time. ALL, all the time. I would not do all the time. When I first started signing, I probably did do all the time, but now I just spell it because I think it's more conceptually correct, because here I am gathering things up, right? So I think of that more of tangible things. And so, but if it's all the time, it's not something tangible. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a way of my thought process. And then we got two more. I think we can get in. Number 35, avoiding confrontation. And when I first saw that, I was going, really? Wow. But then, because you have grudges, and so that makes it worse for your heart and for your blood pressure. So if you will confront people, if you have a problem, then you can discuss it and kind of clear it up. And so now that's just gone, right? So that's helpful. Okay, and then the last one, it is number 36, and it is not doing self-reflection. You can say self-reflection, but when you have it close to your body, that means that you are doing a self-analysis within yourself. If you have it out, this is just analysis, but when you do it close to your body, that's self-analysis. So you don't really need to do self-analysis. You see what I'm saying? Because that's already the sign, because it's already close to you. So you have that phrase, self-analysis, in one sign. So it says you're not doing it, or self-analysis, none. So instead of having to say self-analysis, not doing, you could do that, but I would say self-analysis, none. You're not doing it. And that's more clear, that's more ASL, And it's, I mean, you don't have to do all the extra signing for that. Sometimes you have to. It's called expansion. Like sometimes we have words that mean, they can mean a whole lot, the plethora, but of meanings. And so sometimes you have to expand instead of having one sign. But in some things, like self-reflection, none. You don't have to say a lack of self-reflection, right? So that's more words than the signs. So sometimes it's expansion, and sometimes it's not. It's kind of, contracted, right? So anyway, so think about this, practice the signs and see how maybe there's a different way that you could sign it, or if it's more clear. And so I do an analysis with like getting my English here and then sometimes I'll do it either side by side or underneath it so I can see it and write it out. How would I sign that? What signs would I use to mean the same thing? And sometimes it's more and sometimes it's less. And so that helps you with that ASL clarity. And then when you really sign it to a deaf person without speaking, then you can see if they understand. Because if they go, it could just be that they've never had that experience or never had that sign or that, discussion. Or sometimes it could be, maybe I could have signed it different. So you can really have an opportunity to practice and to, kind of really figure it out and do more explaining and figuring out how can I sign that better, more clear. So you get frustrated with yourself. So make sure that you tell the deaf person, you're going, well, I'm trying to figure out how to sign that. I'm frustrated with myself. Tell them so they won't think it's them. You understand? Because they don't know. They only know what they're told. And so they don't know the, speaking culture. They only know the deaf culture. So you don't want to offend. So always let them know that you're frustrated with yourself trying to make the message clear. So have fun, and I will see you later. Bye.